Welcome to Diggnation.
Also potentially hazardous to your health. That's a pala for.
Why do you have flies in your freaking house? I noticed this earlier.
It's Southern California and I have fruit.
This is my favorite story of all time. Alright, moving on. You put zombie and you put theory in the title, and I don't want to do it.
Theory zombie Kevin.
Diggnation.com.
Hello and welcome to Diggnation, episode number 10. I'm Alex Albrecht.
And I'm Kevin Rose. Diggnation, of course, covers all the weekly top stories on the social news technology bookmarking website thing that we like to call Digg.com, D-I-G-G.com.
That's right, it's a social bookmarking web technology thing.
Yes, all the stories are submitted by the users.
Yes, and then you get to choose which stories get to the main page, and it's a whole big barrel of laughs. This week, we are coming to you from Los Angeles. We're sitting outside of my apartment in sunny Southern California.
Yes, indeed.
Which is very nice. I'm very happy to be back. I've been back.
Keith's not with us.
No,
we gotta
he passed
say,
away. No, I'm just kidding.
Keith had a heart attack.
Oh, come on. It's so horrible.
No. Keith is sick. Actually, there was a flu. I live with two other roommates.
There was an epidemic in that house.
No, three other roommates. No, I got it now.
There goes the car alarm.
It's off. Okay.
Smart.
So yeah, the flu went through the house. Keith got it. Dan got it. Ron got it.
Yeah.
I thought I was immune. I got it.
I skipped out of town right as it was hitting.
You
thankfully.
did last week when it was hitting. Dan was down for 4 days, shaking and sweating.
So we have the good friend David Prager. He's actually running the camera. So hi Prager, and there goes the car alarm again. That'll get fixed.
Nice.
So beers.
Yes. I have the Tsingtao beer, which is from the People's Republic of China.
Oh, good people in China.
I have a little bit of sore throat because of this whole flu thing, and it's nice. It's great for sore throats. If you get sick and you get a sore throat, pick one of these up. Really soothing on the throat.
Really?
Yeah, I'm serious. At first, when I woke up this morning, the throat was blistery, and I don't know about blistery, but it was...
Oh, good God. I think you should see a doctor.
That sounds pretty bad, but...
I had open sores on my throat.
You know when it's not sore, but it's just scratchy?
Sure.
This helps out a lot.
Good.
So yeah.
And I got the Young's Luxury Double Chocolate Stout.
I picked it out for you, by the way.
Which is from the Rams Brewery in Wadsworth.
Is that a good beer or
England.
not? You don't like it?
No. I'm going to say I like it a hell of a lot better than I thought it would because I'm not a big dark beer fan.
Right, but this has chocolate in it.
But this has chocolate in it, so that somehow makes it good.
Yeah.
And it's some sort of official selection of, it's got the British bottler's diploma.
Yes, which means a lot. Mm-hmm. So we should get started?
I had to go to 4 years of bottling school before I got that.
That's right.
So first off, we should mention that there's a horrible, horrible hurricane going through almost all of the Northwest right now, or the Southeast.
Right, Southeast.
Northwest. It's like Washington State. So they don't get hurricanes. But so this first story actually sort of involves it kind of on the periphery, which is CNN weatherman loses his cool.
This is
the
top
story. And I dug the story. Did you do this?
I dug it too. The second I saw it, I dug it.
Yeah. So 2,551 people dug the story, submitted by Zimic. This is a video of a CNN weatherman that loses his cool while covering Hurricane Katrina. Things seem a little tense for him. This is one of those things where you can totally tell when you watch this video that these two people that work together do not like each other.
Right, yes.
So we should just run this video here. So if you're listening to the podcast, you'll just hear it.
So it has filled in a little bit, with some air.
Okay,
that
so
is lower
Chad,
pressure. But Camille,
let
me talk, Carol.
Translate that for us. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means, Chad.
Let me talk.
He's pissed.
He threw his papers down?
Well, she is just, there was 200 and some comments on this story. You can, I don't know her. You can just tell she's a handful. Am I not right?
Oh. It was so funny. When I read the caption of this story, I was like, oh, that poor weatherman's going to look like a fool on camera. No, she looks like a bitch. It's what happens. He looks like he's just
she's
pissed.
nagging him, man.
She's like, Chad, but what does that mean, Chad?
Oh, good. I saw this and I was glad for him.
Good for you, dude.
Don't get pissed.
Good for you, Chad from CNN.
When was the last time you saw a weather guy just get pissed about something? It just doesn't happen.
He threw down those papers. And then, but now see, he's a professional. You know why?
Pulled it back together.
He pulled it back together.
Yep.
Because he didn't say all the curse words that we use here because we're not really broadcasting. Because he could have gone.
Oh, I know.
He could have stormed off, started throwing cameras. That would have been awesome.
He's a hero.
Dude, he is.
He's did you see how many times? This was submitted to Dig, but then all of a sudden, it exploded all over the place. It was
Dude,
like
he's
on,
my hero.
I mean, just tons of blogs, and there was multiple, like all these different video sites, like the E-Bombs World and all that stuff. It was all over the place.
yeah.
There's gonna be T-shirts made with his face on them. Like, I'd buy one
I
of
love
those.
Chad. Yeah, dude.
totally. I don't
It's
know
like
if I'd
on-
want one that said I love Chad, but
Well,
that'd be a little
with his
weird, dude.
picture.
What if you're walking around and like nobody knows what that is, and you have a dude on your face or on your shirt that says I love Chad?
well, Kevin, especially if you had a dude on your face, that'd be even worse. But with just the shirt, yes, it would be. It would
I'm
be
sick. I'm a little delirious right now.
It would be a little interesting.
It'd be a little strange.
It would be a little strange. Although it would make people go, wonder what this Chad guy's all about. Although it might be great because it'd be like, yeah, screw that, whatever her name was, Kathleen.
Yeah,
If you let me finish.
Dude, we've all been there with our girlfriends at one point or another. Where
With
you're just
people
like,
on one way or another.
You just want to shake a bitch. It's just like,
Dude,
you know what I'm
it's like
talking-
that story I was telling you about, but coming back from through security at San Francisco Airport.
Yes.
So I'm going through security real quick because people are drinking because this is all about
Yes,
going off
we've
topic.
got off topic, so start drinking.
Yeah, we haven't even started and we're off topic. But I was going to the security line and at San Francisco Airport they like point you to like which line. There's like 6 different lines and they're like whatever, take one on the left, whatever. So I go
Right.
up there, and you know how stewardesses can just go straight to the top.
Right, because they can cut through. They got to
They
get to
can
the
cut
plane.
through. They
whatever.
gotta get to the plane because God forbid they get to the plane. They don't get to the plane. Anyway, so there's this stewardess in line, and there's like this U-shaped table, and there's this old lady at the like left side of the U. So I'm assuming there's a line on the left of the table and a line on the right of the table.
Fair enough.
So I just kind of, without thinking, I'm just trying to get to my plane. I beeline it to behind this stewardess, and I start taking out the trays and pulling out my laptop, taking off my shoes. I mean, I go through a whole,
Right.
hoo-ha because I got all this stuff, metal, and war wounds and stuff. But then the lady goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I think this nice old lady was in front of you." And I'm a little cranky. I mean, it's early, and I'm, whatever.
Mhm.
And it's my 17th day in a row traveling, so I was like, "All right, maybe I was a little snippy," but I said, "I'm sorry. I thought she was in the line over here. I'll go around." And this lady looked at me and she goes, "Yeah, I just believe in being nice to little old ladies."
Oh.
And I look at her and I go, "I'm not anti little old ladies. I just thought she was in the other line."
Is that what you said to her?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. What'd she
And
say?
then, so then she just kind of like huffed off and walked off, and I was like, "Dude!" And this guy who came up right behind me was like, "Dude, you were totally right. I saw the whole thing. She's a bitch."
Nice.
I was
It's
like,
always
"Yeah,
awesome when you
dude."
got one of your bros like behind you. You're like, you
Yeah.
don't even know him, but there's always a guy that's
I
like
know.
chime in.
Keith's
Hell yeah.
gonna have a bleeping.
Yeah,
I just said like
We
the
just
F-bomb
kind
like
of,
12 times.
Going off on this one.
All
Next
right,
story.
let's move on to the
All
next.
right, Flickr uses Flickr users plan mass cancellation. 673 people dug this story, submitted by Tidbit. A splinter faction of Flickr photo sharing community members is threatening a symbolic mass suicide. 400 members strong so far.
First off, good enunciation on all the F's in a row. That was
Thank
very
you.
good. Very
Thank
good
you.
pronunciation.
For people that don't know what Flickr is, it's
Yes.
it's a photo sharing website. It's very, very popular. They were acquired by Yahoo here about 6 months ago.
And that's where the problems started arising.
That's where the problem is. The whole story behind this is that Flickr was this like independent, little fun, artsy, like photo sharing community, and all of a sudden, big bad Yahoo took over. I don't know if they're big bad Yahoo, but
The reason they're big bad is because they made it mandatory Yahoo IDs to log into
right.
Flickr.
So they're saying that you have to convert your existing ID that you have within Flickr to a Yahoo ID, like their universal login to all their
where
services.
you get their mail, their freaking IM.
I don't like that idea, man.
It's stupid.
So they created a group.
Yeah.
All these people jumped on board, and they're calling it the mass suicide. People are going to be leaving Flickr. The problem, though, is that I really don't know of any good alternatives. Do you know any other? I mean, that was what people were talking about in the comments, and there was a couple suggestions. But I mean, Flickr really has some really cool stuff. They got that cool API out. They have the tagging where you can post your images. You can actually tag them and find them and sort them. I don't know.
You could maybe do something like image dump, and then maybe figure out a way to link to. You know what I mean? Like you could use multiple
But it's
services.
a community thing,
like,
though. You know, you get that.
Well,
whole,
but that's what I'm thinking.
yeah.
Like you could use Craigslist to the front end, web access, and then everybody puts it up onto image dump.
You have to get the majority
it's
of people behind you, though.
Well,
This is I know
A
it's
majority of
only
people
400.
leave it. I mean, but that's the thing is that the whole deal with Flickr was it was sort of open to everybody. You didn't have it's so anti-man.
Right.
And now it's like Slashdot being bought by Microsoft.
Right, and then
It's
all of a
like,
sudden everyone
whoa,
will be freaking
wait
out.
a minute,
Yeah, yeah.
that's not- you know what
no,
I mean?
I think that they should give you the option to keep your existing freaking member ID. You shouldn't have to change that and go conform to some
Well, but then again,
global Yahoo login.
well, true. Yeah, I agree. However, devil's advocate.
They can do what they want, they
which
bought
is a
it.
great pinball machine. Yahoo paid a crap load of money, I'm sure,
Yeah.
to get Flickr. They did it not so that they could have a service that like look beep beep beep. They did it because they wanted all the users.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe they wanted to offer that service, but then they can't. You know what I mean? Like, is it going to be like yahoo.flickr.com or what? You know?
Yeah, see, that's the problem. I don't know. It seems a little fast to me. I've seen stuff like this happen in the past, and it always seems that give them some time. I mean, you just bought the service. Don't all of a sudden start changing the graphics and putting Yahoo headers and footers on it. I mean, like, let the
G4. G4.
Yes. Next story.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, next story. This seems a little obvious, but good. Sex makes people healthy, cheerful, strong, beautiful, and sleepy. 1,141 people dug the story, submitted by Psionic Being. It is generally believed that human beings have sex either for pleasure or reproduction. However, the number of people driven with these motivations has been reducing steadily during the recent years. The majority of humans use sex as the most pleasant and available remedy for a whole bouquet of problems.
So what are they saying? Like, what's
What they're saying is that these scientists finally basically said, hey, this sex stuff people do seems fun. Wonder if it has any benefits. And it totally does. Like, what's happening is that they started listing off all these different things, these different benefits that you get from sex.
Stress reduction?
Stress reduction, endorphin release, and adrenaline. Just because I said release doesn't mean anything.
I didn't laugh.
Like all these different chemicals in your brains that fire off. But also, they said that having sex for a half an hour, 30 minutes of sex, is the same as running on a treadmill for 15 minutes.
Really?
Burns 200 calories. So they said that somebody who has, and this is what they said, and I don't know what 500 grams is, but they said that somebody who is having sex every day will lose 500 grams a week in body fat.
So you could basically just skip the gym.
And that's what they're saying people do. It's if you're in a meaningful relationship or you have a lot of money, you could, in theory, come up with some sort of thing where you go to the gym like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you have sex Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday,
Like
and you
your
go to
off
the gym
days.
every day.
It seems like this is pretty obvious stuff, though. I mean, who didn't know that? I mean, come on.
Well, people
I mean,
who don't have sex, maybe?
Yeah, I guess you're probably right.
I don't know. I guess it's the weird,
Yeah.
we want to get into it.
We could go further, but...
We could go further,
yes.
but read the article. It's very insightful.
Yes, in the science section of Dig.
In the science section. It's in the porno section of Dig.
There's no porno section of Dig. All
There
right.
should be. Oh, did you see that guy on Diggnation.com whose icon was a girl squeezing her boobs?
No.
You never go to the forums, do you?
I do.
You never go to the
So
Diggnation forum.
what does that have to do with anything?
You were saying there's like a porn section, and I was like, porn on Dig, that'd be funny. And I was like, hey, some guy in Diggnation
No.
had boob squeezing
I
as
was-
his,
it's a
it was his
different-
icon thing.
The forums have nothing to do with the actual website dig.com, but
Yeah, but they're related.
yeah, they
Diggnation,
talk about it. Yeah,
Right.
gotcha. Yeah, I'll have to check it
Well,
out.
anyway, whatever.
I need to go to the forums.
Move on.
All right, next story. The world's first photograph. 1,246 people dug this story. Submitted by.
Submitted by, please, God, don't make me pronounce this. Go for it, Kev.
Noma Chickenik. I don't know.
Noma Chickenik?
Pronounce this. Pronounce that
It's
right there.
not Noma Chickenik. Gnome Chickenik.
See?
No man chicks.
No, nice try. It's Noman
know.
Chickenis.
Noman Chickenis.
All right. One summer day in France in 1826, Joseph Nipesi. Dude, that's his name. I'm not good.
Or like the second generation, the like 12th generation of Nymanics.
Dude, you want to hear a true story? This is honestly a true story. No, I haven't finished reading, so start drinking. But hold on. This is very relevant. So David Prager,
I'm sure.
David Prager, he's doing, selling ads for us in System and
Yeah.
Diggnation and stuff like that. And he comes to me and he's like, okay, we got this great sponsor. You know, it's this really cool contest at the Photoshop competition they're going to be doing. I'm like, oh, that sounds awesome. They're like, they also want you to host the award show. And I'm thinking, there's no way in hell I'm going to host an award show because like the one thing I cannot do is pronounce people's names. There's no way I'm going to sit there for like an hour.
Especially
because
like,
up next.
And you know that the people who do an international award banquet for web programming are all going to be like Slavic and like Nordic and like.
Oh man, that's like it's like a nightmare. There's no way. But anyway.
You would have been funny.
No, it would have been terrible. And you would have done it had you not been going to a wedding.
Dude, my buddy's getting married. Congratulations, Will. I'll be there.
Nice. Okay, so let me finish this up.
Have we read
So
this
where
story?
were we? Okay, yeah. So it's the world's first
Who was the guy
photograph.
that took the photograph?
It's a photo. This is. I'm finishing reading what he actually said. It's a photo of some farm buildings in the sky. It took an exposure time of 8 hours. This is
How
cool.
is that the first photo ever made?
It's the first one ever.
Like, come on.
I was reading the article. It says no one's exactly sure how he did this or what chemicals were used. All that is known.
Or that it's a photograph.
No, all that is known is that it's a photo on it's 8 inches by 6.5 inches that was done on a pewter plate, and the photo's crappy. It looks like.
Well,
but
yeah, it's the first one ever made.
But it's cool because it's kind of creepy at the same time. You look at it. I mean, seriously. I mean, you look at this and you're just like, whoa, that's actually the first photo of anything that was ever taken. It's pretty deep.
That is pretty deep. I can see how.
No, I mean seriously.
No, you're right.
Did you see
I saw
picture?
the picture looks like it was a poster for like The Grudge 2 or something. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
it's just gnarly looking. It's like all like washed out and grayscaled and like there's like a pterodactyl.
Dude, it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
That's awesome. It's like dinosaurs in the background.
Dinosaurs. Guy getting eaten by dinosaurs. It's very good. All this is basically, it was the first movie ever made, actually.
Oh man, that was funny.
Yeah, that's Lord. No, it was interesting. It was one of those things where first off, who knew it was some random French dude? Like, I would have assumed it was like Eastman Kodak or something.
Yeah.
That's two names, right? Isn't it like Bill Eastman and Juan Kodak? Or I don't know. I just know it's Eastman Kodak is like two names.
Yeah, you're right. It's like Debbie and Lennox, Deborah and Ian. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, I'm a geek. Sorry.
No, that's good times. Good times.
Okay.
Shall we move on? Let's move on.
Let's do it.
All right. Apple wants you to try a Mac Mini for free for 30 days. 1,121 people dug this story, submitted by The Mole 1314. Yes, you read that right. Yep. Apple is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee on the Mac Mini. Good if you want to try a unit out. So this is a big deal.
This is huge.
Mac came out and said, we know that our product is better than the sales reports say, so just try one. Follow-up story. Apple cancels 30-day Mac Mini promo.
A day later,
Less
right?
than a day after announcing that purchase of a Mac Mini can return that purchasers of a Mac Mini can return the system within 30 days for a full refund. Apple has quietly pulled the plug on the promotion. It's not clear why the offer was removed, but as of Thursday morning, there was no trace of its existence.
I have a feeling I know why. I think
everybody knows why.
Well, I'm sure what happened is, I mean, obviously it received a huge amount of digs. It was all over the place.
Yeah.
What happened is they probably allotted, they probably set aside, 50,000 units.
Sure.
They said, hey, let's try this little promo out, see how many get returned.
Sure.
Figure out if it's a profitable way for us to try something like this. And, it within a day, as soon as this hits the major, I mean, everybody wants a Mac Mini.
Sure, I'd go buy one if it was free for 30 days.
Yeah,
and just kick it around and give it back.
Exactly. It's $4.99. It's pretty, I mean, it's that price point where you're just like, if I don't like it, I can return it. And
I think that's really the key.
Right.
Because I would never want one because I think they're too underpowered for what I want.
It's cheap enough.
But it's cheap enough that if I see it and it works and I enjoy it for 30 days, I'll keep it.
Right, exactly.
So I think it was a smart move.
It was a very smart move, and I think what happened is they just probably sold out within an hour, and then that's how.
And then they went, oh crap.
Exactly. But
don't make enough Mac Minis.
Well, let's hope it works out for them, and they actually can they don't get many returns, and then hopefully they'll offer this as like a deal going forward.
I don't know.
Why? You don't like that?
No, I don't know.
I mean,
Mac
it does sound
Mini.
very like Bose infomercial, kind of like, if you don't like it, return it within 30 days.
Well, hopefully it's like just bring it back to the iStore in 30 days or whatever whatever the hell they're calling their Apple stores.
The iStore.
Come to the iStore where we have genius presentations to make everybody feel smart that are stupid.
Those are kind of cool, though.
I've never been to one.
I've sat there and through one too.
Well, I was thinking about doing like for that thing we were talking about down there with the monthly release thing.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't want to say anything.
What does it have to do with it? Give me a hint.
Gadgets?
Oh.
Yes, I was
oh.
thinking if you go to a Mac store and interview somebody who's got like a Mac, you know what I mean? Like I didn't want to announce, I didn't want to make any announcements or anything.
Yeah. That's
Still
good.
very
That's good, yeah.
production. But anyway,
Okay.
I could go to one of their iStores and take a little genius tour.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, so don't buy a Mac Mini expecting to get your money back because you're kind of SOL. Is that the case?
Yes. Next story. Super Mario Brothers TV show from the 80s. Weird to say the least. That's what the submitter said. 898 people dug the story, submitted by Lumerus. Apparently, Mario had a TV show in the 80s. Words cannot describe the weirdness of this. Excuse me. Perhaps this is where they got the idea for the god-awful movie. Okay.
Well, first off, I'm going to say I
used
never
to watch
read.
it.
I didn't read this story. I watched it. But how scary is it that the guy who submitted it didn't remember that TV show from when it was on TV?
I know. He's probably...
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
just makes me feel old because
Well,
I was like,
I mean,
I watched that.
He
It
might not
was-
have been answered. You did watch it, though.
Yeah,
I watched
I mean,
Mario Brothers.
yeah, it was weird, but-
The weirdest thing... Well, see, I didn't think it was weird at the time. I was like, oh, there's Mario. I love Mario. You know, Luigi's a little weird, but...
Yeah.
And then...
Well, Mario was Lou Albino.
What?
Was Captain Lou Albino
What does that mean?
from WWF, dude? The guy with the rubber bands in his hair.
Shut up.
That was Mario.
Are
That was
you
Captain
serious?
Lou.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Because I thought it was a buddy of mine. I swear to God, I watched the video of it and I was like looking and I was like, oh my God. And this old actor friend of mine, that I've been in a couple plays with here is like, his name's Don and he's like
He looks just like
65. I swear to God, I thought it was him and I was
That's
like,
awesome.
oh my God.
You're going to call him out on it?
No, because that happens to me sometimes. Like I was, did you ever watch Friday the 13th, the series? Do you remember when Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
the series came out?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
on for a very short lived. I was in a play and like we were just sort of bullshitting and this guy was like, oh yeah, well I was the lead in Friday the 13th, the series. And I was like, oh, you're that guy. I was like,
Well,
I
dude,
watched that.
Remember when we were doing the whole interview process for you joining
Yeah.
the Screensavers?
Yeah.
And I saw you with Boner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you used to...
I still know. Yeah.
Boner from
Anthony.
Family Ties. Who's the boss?
Growing
Pains. That's it.
Family Ties. Who's the boss? Silver Spoons. Different strokes.
Growing Pains. Yeah, Growing Pains.
Pains, yeah.
He was right there. I was like,
The
whoa,
Boner.
that's-
Yeah, he's a buddy of mine.
He doesn't even look like the Boner anymore.
I didn't know until I actually got the job. And then you guys were like, hey, we came and saw you do improv, and you were doing improv with Boner, who's actually Chekhov's son.
That's weird.
Yeah, he's the guy Chekhov
Off
from
of
Star Trek.
Yeah.
It's his son.
That's
So,
crazy.
anyway, he's a buddy of mine. It's
Nice.
weird. You get to know all these weird people. Did you ever watch The Phantom, the movie?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? No smoking in the Skull Cave.
No.
That little like assistant that he had, like goes 2 walks. When I saw it, I was dying about that guy. Like no smoking in the Skull Cave. Another buddy of mine.
Are you
I
serious?
swear to God, I met him and then I was watching him in a play and I was like reading through his bio and I was like, Phantom, the Phantom, and I looked up and I was like, Mother! I mean, I was like, dude, you're that guy! And he started quoting it to me and I was like, it's
That's awesome.
weird, but it's just LA.
That is LA.
Did we even talk about the story?
So the story's creepy. Go.
No, watch it.
We're gonna put the video in here.
Yeah,
the
and
video
one of the
probably already
things-
played already when we were talking about it earlier.
One of the things I'll say is that this is actually kind of cool because it's in the Hooligans TV
Mm-hmm.
thing, and I had no idea, but they have a couple different like 80s cartoon shows that you can watch. Like they have all the episodes from the Super Mario Brothers show.
That's nice. The Voltron.
No, I looked for like Voltron and Humanoids, Transformers. See, I was
Voltron.
into some
Thundercats.
Thundercats, Silverhawks,
No.
Silverhawks,
Mask.
Mask, of course, Mask Crusaders.
Autobots.
No,
No,
Transformers.
Transformers.
GoBots is what you meant.
that's
GoBots
right,
is the other way.
GoBots was like the jank cheap one.
Dude, but see, now I was into some like really random ones that people don't remember, like Visioneers or Visionaries. I can't remember. I think it was Visionaries.
Did you get basic cable or something?
No, that was Danger Mouse. Danger Mouse was
Danger
one of the
Mouse,
first
dude.
reasons I got cable was because of Nickelodeon's Danger
That's
Mouse.
funny.
And you can't do that on television.
Jim.
I never watched Jim. My sister did. Jim the Hologram.
Yeah, it was on at a certain time. And there's nothing else on. I had to watch it a few times.
That's awesome. But like Sky Command. Do you remember Sky Commanders?
No.
See, whenever I say Sky Commanders, Inhumanoids, Visionaries, a couple of those
Yeah.
and I was like into those
I
cartoons.
was Staples, Transformers, G.I. Joes, stuff like that.
Voltron, of course.
Voltron, of course.
Voltron was
One of my all-time
huge,
favorites.
dude. Love that. I watched a couple Voltron shows.
They're not so good. I
No,
know.
you
Don't go
can't-
back.
don't go back.
I'll tell you what, though. One series you can go back to.
What?
MacGyver.
Ooh.
MacGyver. Go back. It's just as good. It's just as good.
He's playing hockey.
Airwolf is just as good too, kind of.
Oh, Airwolf. Come on, that's
Oh
a
no,
classic.
not MacGyver. Well, MacGyver is just as good. Greatest American Hero. That is worth going back to.
I do believe it. That's
No,
all I'm
it's
going to say.
really good.
Greatest American Hero. I should get back on the Greatest American
Yeah,
Hero.
yeah, yeah. Netflix it. Rip it. Burn it.
Okay,
own it.
I will do that.
Yes.
Isn't like Netflix on a board that we're
No,
involved with?
no. I didn't say that.
No,
We're
not
gonna leave that out.
Netflix. Blockbuster Online, rip it.
Next story.
Next story. Mazda ditches cylinder locks in favor of USB key. 897 people dug this story, submitted by iRock. Good car. This is insane. From vacuum to light to massager, everything has been USB'd. Now it's Mazda's turn of improving cars with a USB key, which is supposed to double as a music storage device and a GPS map system. So what happened is Mazda premiered this new Mazda car called the Sassu. S-A-S-S-O-U.
It looks cool.
It
It's a
looks
cool
really
looking
cool.
car.
But the really cool thing is that it's got a built-in hard drive for music storage, right? In the car.
Into the car.
In the car. It's got a navigation system. And the key is not a regular key, but it's a USB thumb drive. So what you can
Right.
do is you can take it into your computer, download directions for your navigation system, like, point-and-point directions for
Why
your
wouldn't your
navigation
Navi
system.
just be able to do that for you, though?
You can download it, see? You see, Kevin, that's the benefit.
That's awesome. You don't know the answer, so you're just like, hey, you can download
You can download it, Kevin. That's clearly
Well,
the
it's
answer.
probably for map updates and stuff like that, or foreign countries.
I don't know. It just said location, navigation.
Okay.
Or you can actually download music from the USB key. So you can take the USB key that turns on your car. Couple things that are a little scary. If it's like a piece of software that tells it to turn on, not so good.
Yeah, I don't know about
Because then
that.
you get just like people who are like
Well,
flashing
first
it.
of all-
Because like you remember that USB key that you could just plug another USB key and it would automatically copy whatever was on it to
Yeah,
or whatever?
yeah.
You could just totally be like,
Copy somebody's car key?
yeah, you'd be like, bleep, bleep, and then go to their car and be
it's
like,
got to be something more than that. But at the same time, it's like USB is the standard like dongle interface for USB. It's not the most like robust, like reliable. I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable plugging that in and day out in my door, in my car. Do you know what I'm talking about? I think it's
Yeah.
gonna wear out. It's just like I don't know. Would they give you
well,
like multiple?
I'm
keys, or-
assuming with this kind of car, they would have like one of those like locational aware doors. Like, have you seen those where you like walk up and your keys open the door and the door like pops open?
You're assuming it's not. It doesn't even say anything about that. Does
No,
it?
I'm just assuming. Well,
would be cool,
first
though.
off, it's a concept car.
Yeah, it is a concept car. But I do like the idea of being able to just bring your music, plug it into your car, and boom, have it play. I mean, I have a feeling that they're going to probably have that with the shuffle or something like that in the near future. That would be really cool.
Oh, the shuffle. I don't even want to talk
You don't
about
think
it.
that would be cool?
No, I just don't think the
hold on,
shuffle
hold
is
on.
cool.
Let me throw that out there. Let me just throw this out there. Let's say,
Throw it.
Let's say, right now we're at a gig, right, for the shuffle? One gig? Let's say.
Oh, we're at a gig. Okay,
yeah,
I thought we were like at a gig,
capacity-wise.
and I was like, okay, who's playing? You know what I mean?
So,
Okay, go.
so let's say they come out with like a 4 gig, 5 gig shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
You can load it with all your favorite tunes. You take it to your car, and your car
Mm-hmm.
has a little USB slot next to the old CD deck.
Okay.
You plug it in, and then
Okay.
instantly all of that information is can now be played through your deck and displayed on the little LED screen on the deck. So you get the titles, the names.
Ah.
You can jump folders. What do you think about that?
Well, I agree with all that stuff, but that should all be functionality built in to the shuffle.
Well, yeah, but it's kind of hard to fit all that in one little tiny shuffle.
Oh, come on. Have you seen what a watch can display? A watch can give you like the freaking dictionary.
No, you're right,
You
you're
could
right,
read
you're
Harry
right,
Potter on a watch right
No,
now.
I have seen smaller
Just put it
MP3
on
players
little-
that, yeah, you're right.
Put it
You're
on
right.
little-
It's- well, it's Apple's way of saying, yes, pretty much. It's pretty much.
It's Apple's way of saying,
Seriously.
guess what?
Seriously.
We could package poo, and you would
No,
buy it if it was
well-
if it had a nice white shell.
Well, here's the thing. If Apple put like a nice little LED screen on there, and you're just like, oh, this is awesome. It's got the little everything that I want.
Yeah.
No one would buy iPods anymore because it would be smaller, more compact. It would just
Yeah.
it would cut into their iPod sales, which they make the most money off of. So.
Well, then why even release it? I don't know. I see people at the gym with it around their neck, and I'm like, dude, seriously?
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. I'm shuffling myself.
All right.
Let's move on.
Next story.
So that's a cool car.
All right. Next story. It's a miracle. Mice regrow hearts.
Oh,
It should work for humans as well. 825 people dug this story, submitted by Monolith. Scientists have created miracle mice that can regenerate amputated limbs or damaged vital organs, making them able to recover from injuries that would kill or permanently disable normal animals.
cool.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
So basically, they're injecting these mice, and once the mice have this super cocktail, if you will,
Sure.
they can regenerate everything but the brain. So if
Ah.
they get their arm chopped off or their front paw.
Their front mouse arm, whatever that's called, chicken limmy.
They'll regrow it, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Or they take out an eye or cut off the tail. I mean, it just regrows. And
That's
they're thinking,
awesome.
They were saying that they were drawing parallels between the mice and humans, and they believe that hopefully with further research, eventually they'll be able to have the same functionality for humans as well.
That'd be great. Well, wouldn't it be like, I got to a bar fight and cut my arm off? Somebody bet me I couldn't cut my arm off, and I did.
Yeah, right.
I won $600.
That would be pretty cool. But it
Well,
doesn't work with brains.
isn't the mouse, like, the DNA is really, really close to what our DNA is?
That's what they're saying.
Because that's why they test a lot of stuff on mice, is because the DNA... I don't know, whatever.
I don't know either.
And chimps
we always have one of these weird animals regrowing or resisting.
Well, here's the thing: is that it was done in Australia. Mm-hmm. Wasn't the alligator HIV thing done from Australia?
There's some weird stuff
Dude,
out there, aren't they?
if you want to do any medical research,
Australia's a place.
Australia, they've got a lot less laws about what you can do to animals.
Do they allow the old spinal thing?
The hell is that?
The
removal of the
spine?
Baby.
Stem cells.
Stem cells. Thank you,
You
Prager.
can say something. Gosh, he's been
like,
quiet the entire time. Normally Keith would just yell it out.
Keith's just like, "Hey guys, let me sit in." It's like, Keith, get out of here. That's awesome.
Yeah, stem cell stuff.
I don't know what they're.
Prager, do you know? He doesn't know yet. Yeah.
Prager doesn't.
Something to research for next time.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not doing research. Come on.
All right, next story.
Okay, Shrink to 5, nice open source DVD shrink replacement. 746 people dug the story submitted by Thundercats, very good. Shrink to 5 has been developed as a cross-platform engine available for free for anyone. To ensure a fast spread to other platforms, Shrink to 5 is distributed as an open source. Still in development, and it's open.
That's
so this
cool.
is a replacement for DVD Shrink, which we had talked about like 2 podcasts ago. Or
Right.
something.
I mean, DVD Decryptor, DVD Shrink, they've both been yanked off the market, and they both. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I believe they were both closed source applications.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, if you've taken a look at some of the screenshots from the Windows version of this application,
Oh, it looks great.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
It looks like a great, promising application.
It looks like it's got all the functionality that you would need. I mean, you can copy whole modes. You can copy just movie mode only. You can copy encrypted DVDs. Hello. All sorts of stuff.
So we have yet to play with it.
No.
But I'll tell you what, it's a story. No, listen.
You know what's good about this? It's a story.
No, if you have played with it, post in our forums, diggnation.com.
Oh, yeah, totally.
We want to hear what you think about it, if it's good, if it's crap, or if you have any other recommendations for other users, because we know a lot of people out there right now are looking for alternatives to this. I mean, you can still find, if you dig around, you can find Decryptor or Shrink.
But honestly, wouldn't you want something that's got some support structure underneath it for bugs and patches and stuff like that?
Yeah, exactly. As new versions of Windows come out, new things there needs to be something that's actively being developed.
Right.
And that's what this is, and it's open source, which is bonus.
We like that.
Which is awesome.
Speaking of which, did you want to do the picture thing on the forums?
Not sure what you're talking about.
All right, I'm going to say it anyway. We had this concept, which was we wanted to see if we could get the people who watch Diggnation or listen to Diggnation to if they can find the beers. Now these are not really random beers, but especially when we do like random beers, we wanted to see like every week if you guys would get the beers. You don't have to drink them, especially if you're underage, please don't. But if you get the beers and like take them around to random places and take pictures of yourself with the beers at these random places
with
and
the
post
Diggnation
them.
t-shirt on.
Oh, if you have a Diggnation t-shirt.
Bonus.
Multo kudos.
5 points.
5 points for the game, and then 1 if you have no others, and then maybe at the end of the week we'll give away something. This is never going to happen. But I know, like our CEO's at home watching going, oh crap, what are we going to do?
Promising swag.
They're promising swag. We have no swag. We don't even have swag. But yeah, so post it on the forums and take little pictures. Nothing too lewd or lascivious because we got kids that like to watch and listen. So.
Or you could email us if they are.
If they are lewd and lascivious, you can just email us. Yes,
we'll take
that's
those.
true. Oh, did you check? Did you try to get the password for dignationfans@gmail.com?
No.
Okay.
You couldn't get in or something?
No, somebody. It was one of those ones where somebody's like, request the password. And it came to me because
Dude, that happens all the time.
Yeah, right.
If people know your Gmail account, they're going to request the password.
Yeah.
Trying to
We
trying to
should
hack
check.
in.
We haven't checked Diggnation fans at gmail.com.
Well, we own
in ages.
Diggnation.com. Why don't we just get like Kevin and Alex at Diggnation.com?
Dude,
We should.
done. Let's
Well,
get Ron
hold
to
on.
do that.
Yeah, we're going to get Ron to set up the web or the mail server first, though.
It's gonna be bounced like come Saturday. It's be like
Don't email us that address yet. It's not working, but yeah, we'll get Ron on it. He's got the flu, man. It's going around.
Dude, that's no excuse.
I want to talk about the new Dig 2.1 features.
I love the new Dig 2.1 fixtures. I have to say, I didn't know they went live until I was like looking, and actually it was my. Go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
Nothing.
Your girlfriend?
No,
Oh, you're gonna say your
no! I
girlfriend?
totally told myself I wasn't
You're
going to mention her
trying.
on this episode.
You're trying.
I swear to God, I almost made it through the whole
You said
freaking
great.
episode. I totally did, and then I was like,
Dude,
Not
that's
this
so
episode.
awesome. Every
That
single episode,
sucks.
if you haven't been following or keeping track, Alex has made mention of his girlfriend in every single one.
I finally guilted my girlfriend into listening to every episode, to watching every episode.
She's probably happy that you mentioned her.
I don't know. I got this email from her the other day. She was like, "Hey, I just listened to the beginning part," and she was like, "I'll let the supermodel screwing part go," because I had said like, "Oh, I should break up with her and screw all the models." But she's cool.
That's no good. All right, 2.1 features. So
Man,
first
I
and
almost made it,
foremost,
really did.
you came close. First and foremost, we have to tell you that little dig slowness lately. Working
Well,
on.
that's great. That means a lot of people really dig it.
The site is growing. We ordered a bunch of new servers last week, a bunch meaning 3 more, and we're gonna throw them in the rack. And
Nice.
within like the next week or so, we will be good for another couple months.
Perfect.
So everything will be fast and snappy, but stick with this while we're trying to get through some of that slowness and getting things worked out.
Well, it's relatively new. I mean, the site's only been up, 6 months, something like
Yeah,
that?
well, it's crazy because you write all this code and you write this engine that powers Dig, and then you go back and you say, oh my gosh, there's so many people. We have
Yeah.
to optimize all these queries now because it's
yeah.
you write for speed and to get new features out and to turn things live, and then you go back and you optimize queries but it's like when there's so many people hitting the site at once,
Yeah.
it's just hard to keep up with the growth. So we're working through all that, but
Good
we
problems
were
to have.
able, good problems to have. We were able to turn a few new features live in 2.1 that just came out. Now we talked about always adding new friends. So if you have a friend, add them. It keeps track, obviously, under your friends tab of all the stories that your friends have been digging. But now, if you notice a story on the homepage or on sub pages that have a little star next to it.
Well,
see-
and that little green wraparound.
Right, a little green wraparound.
Yeah.
That means one of your friends has dug the story. But now in 2.1, if you hover over that with your mouse, it will show you a little picture and the name of the person of your friend that dug the story.
Yeah, which I totally found by accident. I was like rolling over and I was like, ooh, that's awesome. Of course, it's always Albert Pacino.
Yeah, he's digging everything.
Dude,
Gotta
that
remove
guy's a
him from the-
digging fan.
But it's cool because that way it's a quick way to see which of your friends dug the story.
Right.
Another couple quick things. More stories on the per page. If you go to the home page, upper right-hand corner, there's a little uppercase and lowercase a. You can hit that. It's a CSS switcher. It switches the CSS behind the scenes. It will actually compress all of the stories down so you can see more stories per page now, directly on the home page. Another thing, My Friends tab on the permalink page. So if you go you actually click on the number of digs of any story, it takes you to kind of where the comments are, where the people that blogged it.
That could be a little bit more user intuitive.
What, the My Friends thing?
No, the fact that you click on the number of digs to get to the actual dig story.
Right, but people can view the subject and the entire post right there. So the only reason they're really going into that is to either view who blogged it
True,
or
comments.
to view the comments. And they can
Or
get there
who-
directly
or
from
who
clicking
dug
it.
it.
Right,
That's
right.
the thing you were talking about.
Right. So if you go in there and you scroll all the way to the bottom underneath the comments on a story, you can see which of your friends dug the story right there,
Yeah.
along with everybody else that dug it. And then the last thing, obviously a very simple thing, we just put search in the top right navigation.
Dude, you don't know how cool that is. Honestly, like when I was looking for that Harry Potter trailer, I was over at a friend's house, and my friend was like,
Has your girlfriend?
No, it wasn't my girlfriend. It was my girlfriend's roommate. Whatever. But she was like, I was like, oh my god, the Harry Potter trailer came out. You got to see it. And so I went in there, and I was like, it's on Dig. And I went to dig.com, and I was like, where the hell do I
Yes,
search? So
well,
then I found the search thing, which was
Yeah.
fine.
Well, the
but
problem
it
is,
would be- I love that it's up there.
When you have laptop stuff like that, you're running like 1024 by 768. Search is like lower right-hand corner. It's like below the fold.
It's a
Yeah.
click, not a box.
Right,
to
right,
write
right. So this
in.
is a simple little box, but that's it.
Plus, I dug more stories this week from the non-homepage. Because I would go and like search for something that I was sort of interested in that was going on.
And then you
I
found
found a
stories?
story that I was like, oh, and it only had like 9 digs, so I digged it. You know what I mean?
That's
So I think
awesome.
it's actually it's good. It's good
Nice.
times.
But
It's a nice website.
more features coming soon. That is just a couple very minor release,
That
but we wanted to
is
let you know about it.
Do we have anything else? What do we got to do?
No, we should tell everyone where we can get our stories that we just talked about.
Well, now we should tell the story of how this came up. We were at Firefly, this restaurant in San Francisco.
Great restaurant.
Great restaurant. And
This is weird.
This guy came up, and he was sort of like not quite a waiter, maybe like a busboy, but not like
No, he wasn't a busboy.
he wasn't a waiter though. I don't remember what he was, but anyway, he comes up to me of all people, And because he listened to the podcast, recognized my voice because I have a very distinctive voice, which is totally true. And he goes, I'm sorry. And it was all the Revision 3 people. It was like me, Kevin, Keith, Dan,
Prager.
Jay, Prager. And he comes up and he goes, I'm sorry, are you Alex Albrecht? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I'm a huge fan of Diggnation, the podcast. I listen to it all the time.
And he didn't even
He
know
didn't
what
even
you looked like or anything.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah.
He literally, he goes, I totally recognize your voice. Didn't watch the videos. So then we're kind of like, oh, well, this is everybody, meet him and all this stuff. Anyway, end of the night, we're finishing up. He comes over and he goes, look, I had this suggestion. And I was going to email to you guys, but you're sitting in my restaurant, so let me tell you. And he said, I want a way to be able to click on the stories, to read the stories that you talk about on Diggnation from the Diggnation.com homepage. And he was like, I don't want to go to dig/user/Diggnation. He's like, I'm not a big web guy. I know Diggnation is what I'm listening to.
Yeah, he goes one place for the podcast. He wants the stories right there, too.
And so Kevin was like, yeah, there's a Java applet little thing or like a little
JavaScript snippet,
thing that you can like put in that just trails it. And Ron, kudos to frickin' Ron, who goes, don't worry about it, it'll be up in a couple days. The next day, I went to Diggnation.com and there's a list of the stories that week we did. I mean, it's just the top 10 stories streamed from the user. Right,
totally. So you can go right there to Diggnation.com and on the right-hand side. And for any user of Dig, you can add any of the stories that you've been digging to your homepage. Like if you go to kevinrose.com on my site, I have the stories that I've been digging throughout the day right in my little navigation too.
Same with me.
And all you have to do is go to your profile and dig, like dig.com/user/your profile, and then there'll be a little thing that says add these stories to your site or add the dig stories to your site, and it's a little tiny piece of code, and it works easy. It's easy like that.
But it's cool. So keep posting stuff on the forum, suggestions and things like that.
Yeah.
Some of them we will take, most of them we won't, just because we don't have enough time to implement everything. It'll be like 5 different shows.
That's right.
So I think that's it, right?
Yeah. So my stories can be found at dig.com/user/KevinRose,
and mine can be found at dig.com/user/Alex Albrecht, and of course you can find all of the stories that we've dug here and on previous shows at dig.com/users/Diggnation.
There you go.
That's it for this episode. I'm Alex Albrecht.
And I'm Kevin Rose. Until next time.
We'll see you later.
Bye. Good.
Welcome to Diggnation, episode number 10.
I didn't start off right. I was looking down. It was looking funny.
Hello and welcome to
No, you
Diggnation.
gotta give it a count, like a 2 count or something.
Are you ready?
Ready?
Hello and welcome to Diggnation, episode number 10. I'm Alex Albrecht.
And I'm Kevin Rose. Diggnation is a podcast for you, by you. That's boo-boo.
That's boo-boo.
That's like the Gene Company.